Back to French Toast, and today we're going through another past paper exam from the foundation tier, and it's paper 3 for reading from 2020. Without further ado, let's get started. Section 1, questions and answers in English. This first exercise is about mobile technology. So while in Belgium, you find a review of some new apps in a magazine. So let's have a look of those 3 apps. Chapitre BI, avec cette appli pour une librairie en ligne, découvrez des livres qui sont difficiles à trouver. Okay, so I'm going to translate. With this app the thing is librairie en français, in French, librairie is a bookshop. It's not a library where you go and borrow books. So don't get confused. With this app for online bookshop, discover books that are difficult to find. Second one is info repas, which basically is info and meals, information about meals. Vous avez faim? Are you hungry? Info repas vous aide à trouver un établissement avec le type de cuisine qui vous intéresse. Info meals will help you find an establishment of any type of food or cuisine that you might be interested in. Traductrix, so here they played with the word traduction, which means translation. Traductrix, une application pour aider les étudiants à écrire des expressions en anglais ou en espagnol. An app that helps students to write English expressions or in Spanish. So they're asking us match the use of each app to its name. Write the correct letter in the boxes. So let's have a look. To find out about accommodation, no, nothing is about accommodation here. To get advice on restaurants, yes, it's info repas. To get help with foreign languages, yes, is traductrix, yes. To help buy rare books, yes, is chapitre BI, très bien. And then the rest to save money on shopping, no, nothing is mentioned there. So you will have to put the letters here. Okay, so let's have a look at the second exercise, which is saving the planet. While on holiday in France, you see a poster about protecting the planet. Protéger la planète. So they've given us 4 statements. Manger moins de viande, eat less meat. Refuser tout voyage en avion, refuse any travel on an airplane. Quand vous partez en vacances, when you go on holiday. En ville, prenez les transports en commun. In town, take public transports. Acheter une crème solaire non testée. Buy an SPF cream that's not tested on animals. Non testé sur les animaux. Okay. Here they're asking us to complete the sentence in English. So, first one is do not eat as much meat. Here they're telling us ne mangez pas, mangez moins de viande. Meat. When going on holiday, avoid traveling by airplane. En avion. When going around town, use public transports. Transport en commun. And the last one here, to protect animals, check before buying any SPF cream that's been tested on animals. So cream that has not been tested on animals. Okay, let's have a look at the third one. Here it says life at school. On the internet, you see a blog by 2 schoolgirls in Gabon. Read what the girls say about their school. So let's have a look at Kosiva. Ici, l'ambiance est sympathique. Here, the ambience is nice. Les garçons et les filles font de l'athlétisme. et du handball ensemble. Girls and boys do sports together and they play handball. Moi, je ne suis pas sportive. Me, I'm not that sporty. Mais tous sont acceptés dans l'équipe. But everyone is accepted in the team. Les champions comme les moins champions. Those who are champions and those who are not like champions. Those who are not as good as champions. Let's look at what Abla says. Mes notes sont bonnes. My grades are good. Mais je trouve la plupart de mes cours ennuyeux. But I find most of my classes boring. Heureusement, luckily, j'habite près du collège. I live next to my school. Next to school. C'est pratique car mes copines passent des heures en autobus. That's practical because most of my friends spend hours on the bus. C'est fatigant. It's tiring. Les pauvres, I feel sorry for them. All right, let's have a look at what they're asking us to do here. Which two statements about Kosiva's school life are true? Write the correct letters in the box. So let's have a look. She does not like the atmosphere at her school. That's not true. Boys and girls can play the same sport. It's true. She is good at sports. Not really. Students of all abilities are welcome to take part. Yes. So here it's B and D. All right, let's have a look at the statement of Abla. She does well at school. Yes, she does. That's true. She finds all her lessons boring. So here it's a bit tricky because when she says here, mais je trouve la plupart de mes cours ennuyeux. So she's not saying tous mes cours, but she's saying la plupart. So it's most. So it's not true. She does not like living close to school. That's not true. She feels sorry for her friends. That's true. So it's A and D. All right, let's have a look at the next text. And it's about travel and tourism. A Swiss magazine has published a guide to recommend the tourist destinations. And here they give us a couple of excursions, and let's have a look at it, and I will translate. Faites une croisière en bateau et découvrez Montreux. Do a cruise ship, a boat cruise ship, and discover Montreux. Excursion B, à la montagne, prenez un hélicoptère pour voir un glacier. In the mountains, take a helicopter to see the glaciers. Excursion C, à Zurich, explorer le musée national suisse avec un guide. In Zurich, explore a Swiss National Museum with a guide. Excursion D, à Genève, faites un circuit de 3 heures en autocar. In Geneva, do a 3-hour bus circuit. Excursion E, à Lucerne, visiter une fromagerie traditionnelle. In Lucerne, visit a cheese factory making, a traditional cheese factory making. Excursion F, explorer à pied la campagne. Les randonneurs sont les bienvenus. Explore by foot the countryside. Randonneur is the hikers. Hikers are welcome. So here it says choose a suitable excursion for each of the following people and write the correct letterbox. Someone who enjoys boat ride is the A, excursion A. Someone who likes walking tour, it's the F, because it says explorer à pied, explore by foot. Okay. Someone who likes cheese is the E, the fromagerie. Someone who enjoys visiting museums, it's the one that mentioned musée, so it's C. Okay, let's move on to the next one, is poverty. A French magazine has published an article about poverty. Read what this man, Joseph, says about his experiences. Je suis né dans une famille très pauvre. I was born in a very poor family. Mon père, qui avait des problèmes de santé, my father who had health issues, n'a jamais cultivé assez pour nourrir notre famille, pour nourrir la famille. Was never able to cultivate, so it's probably he was a farmer, in order to um, have enough to feed um, our family. Alors, j'ai dit à mon père que je voulais partir et quitter le Sénégal. So I told my father that I wanted to go and leave Senegal. Il n'était pas content. He was not happy. À 16 ans, at 16, je suis partie avec mon ami. I left with my friend qui habitait mon village, who lived in my village. Une fois arrivé en France, once I arrived in France, j'ai obtenu un poste. I got a job. So I have obtained a job. Je devais nettoyer les bureaux. I had to clean offices. Je n'ai pas reçu beaucoup d'argent. I didn't get a lot of money. Mais j'ai eu de la chance, but I was lucky, car mon patron, because my boss, qui avait le même âge que moi, who was the same age as me, m'a trouvé un logement. Find me a place to stay. Logement is where people live. Logement. So we can replace that by appartement or room where people can live in. So write the correct letter in each box. Joseph's father was in good health, had difficulties feeding his family, wanted him to leave. It's B, had difficulties feeding his family. Joseph set out to France on his own with someone from the same village when he was 18 is B. Joseph got a job as a cleaner, a postal worker, a shop assistant is as a cleaner. He was cleaning offices. And Joseph's boss paid him well, was older than him, find him somewhere to live is find him somewhere to live. Okay, so let's move on to the next text, and it's a new friend. Read this extract from the story Histoire d'un chien by Guy de Maupassant. Histoire d'un chien, the story of a dog. And Guy de Maupassant was a French writer. Okay, so let's have a look. Comme François rentrait un soir chez lui, un chien a commencé à le suivre. As François was going home one night, a dog started following him. Il a remarqué que c'était un chien maigre et sale. He's noticed that the dog was skinny and dirty. L'animal refusait de quitter François. The animal refused to leave François. Pris de pitié pour lui, François l'a appelé. Feeling sorry for him, François called him, meaning that he felt sorry for the dog and François called the dog. Il s'est approché timidement et François l'a caressé. He got closer timidly and François started to pet him or to caress him. Immédiatement, le chien se sentait adopté. Immediately, the dog felt that he was accepted, adopted. Accourut devant lui, and then he ran in front of him. Chez lui, once home, François a cherché de quoi manger. Looked for food. Quand le chien avait mangé, il s'est endormi. When the dog had eaten, he fell asleep. Le lendemain, les parents de François, the next morning, François's parents, un peu mécontents, lui ont permis de garder le chien. a little bit not happy with not really happy about it, permitted him to keep the animal. So, decide if the following sentences are true, false, or not mentioned. T for true, F for false, and M not mentioned. So let's have a look. François saw that the dog was in good condition. That's false. François felt sad for the dog. Yes, because it says here, pris pitié pour lui. He felt sorry. François gave the dog some bread. It's not mentioned. They told us that he looked for food and he gave him some food. Chez lui, François a cherché à manger. Once home, François looked for food. François gave the dog some bread. Sorry, we done that one. His parents were very happy to let François keep the dog. That's not true because they said the next day his parents were un peu mécontents, were a little bit upset. So that's false. And here François gave the dog some bread. It's sorry guys, it's not mentioned. Yeah, so let's move on to healthy living. Healthy living. Read this blog which talks about health issues. Notre alimentation est de plus en plus riche en sucre. Our food is more and more filled with sugar. Des chercheurs ont montré, some researchers have shown que cette sorte de régime est associée à un plus fort risque de dépression. That this kind of way of eating is associated with a high risk for depression. Cela pourrait expliquer pourquoi les traitements traditionnels contre la dépression. This could explain why traditional treatment for depression, c'est-à-dire les médicaments, meaning medication, ne marchent pas dans tous les cas, do not work in any case, are not efficient basically. Okay, so let's have a look. According, here it says answer the following questions in English. According to the blog, how was our diet changed? It was changed because there's a lot of sugar in the food. There's like more sugar in the food. What has been the result of this change? This change has resulted in a higher risk of depression, is associated with higher risk of depression, associé à un plus fort risque de dépression. What might this explain? It explains that medication against depression are not efficient. Okay, so let's have a look at the next text, which is a local festival. During an exchange visit to France, you see this leaflet about the festival of Le Mans. Festival d'été, Summer Festival. Le samedi 20 juillet, c'est notre festival d'été. Saturday 20th of July, it's our summer festival. Voici les activités. Here are the activities. Le matin, au lycée Montesquieu, des élèves proposent des scènes dramatiques. In the morning, at the high school Montesquieu, students propose some dramatic scenes. À midi, at lunchtime, concert à la cathédrale avec Anne Maillet piano. Anne Maillet will have a concert at a cathedral. Billets vendus à l'entrée. Tickets are sold at the entrance. À 15h, at 3 o'clock, ciné en plein air au jardin public. outside cinema on the public garden, at the public garden, suivi par des jeux pour enfants, followed by kids games. Le soir, at night, picnic musical, musical picnic, place de la République, place de la République meaning that's the where it's gonna happen. Boisson gratuite, free drinks. Okay. Which three statements about the festival are true? Write the correct letters in the box. A festival last week, that's not true. In the morning, you can see student acting, yes, B. The concert in the cathedral is free, no, because it says here billets vendus à l'entrée, tickets are sold at the entrance. There is an outdoor cinema in the afternoon, yes. À 15 heures, cinéma en plein air. En plein air, it means outside. Yes. Children should be accompanied by adults. No, nothing mentioned about that. And drink will be provided at the picnic. So yes, that's true. All right, judo. Read this article about judo from a French health magazine. Le judo, sport olympique depuis 1964, Olympic sport since 1964, présente de nombreux avantages, gives a lot of advantages, has a lot of advantages. Le judo aide à garder la forme et à développer confiance en soi. Judo helps you keep healthy and develop your confidence. Cependant, however, malgré ses vertus positives pour la santé physique et morale, however, even it has positive virtues for physical and mental health, le judo n'est pas recommandé pour tout le monde. Judo is not recommended for everyone. Quand on tombe par terre, when we fall on the ground, on peut se faire mal. We can hurt ourselves. C'était aussi un sport qui demande beaucoup d'efforts. It's also a sport that requires a lot of effort. Si on veut réussir, if we want to succeed. Okay. According to the article, what are the advantages and the disadvantages of judo? Complete the boxes in English. 2 advantages of judo. Okay, let's see. In English. So we can stay healthy, garder la forme, and we can develop self-confidence. It helps develop self-confidence, okay? And then they're asking us here 2 disadvantage. 2 disadvantage is that le judo, quand on fait. Alors, one, when we fall, we can hurt ourselves, okay? And then it requires a lot of efforts. Ça demande beaucoup d'efforts. It requires a lot of efforts. Okay? Let's move on to the next section. Section B, questions and answers in French. So now they're asking us to answer in French. Let's have a look. Les petits jobs, small jobs. Let's have a look. Small jobs refers to like babysitting, walking dogs and stuff like that. All right. Vous trouvez un forum sur Internet où les jeunes Canadiens parlent de leur job. You find a forum on the Internet where Canadian young people talk about their job. Ella. Je sers les chiens dans le restaurant dans un grand hôtel Montréal. I serve dog in a restaurant located in a high-end hotel in Montreal. Gabriel, je travaille dans un magasin de chaussures au centre-ville. I work in a shoe shop at the city center. Julia, j'ai un petit job dans une usine qui fabrique des jouets. I have a small job that built in a factory that builds toys. Maïsa, le week-end, je fais du jardinage. During the weekend, I do gardening, landscaping. Nabila, je garde souvent les enfants de mes voisins. I often look after my kids' neighbors or do nannying, basically. Ok. C'est quelle personne? Écrivez le nom de la bonne personne dans la case. Which person is it? Write the name of the person that it's mentioned in the box provided. Qui est vendeuse? Who's a salesperson? It's Gabriella because she sells shoes. Qui fait du babysitting? It's Nabila because she look after the kids' neighbors. Qui est serveuse? Who's serving? It's Ella. She serves dogs in a high-end hotel. Okay, so let's move on to the next section and let's see what we have. Un village africain au Togo. An African village in Togo. Vous lisez un article sur un village africain en Afrique. You read an article about an African village. Le village de Kodze au Togo. En été, in the summer, la chaleur est insupportable. The heat is insupportable, meaning is absolutely horrendous. Sans aucune brise, without any breeze, without any a bit of wind. Et les routes sont bloquées, and the roads are blocked à cause de la pluie, because of the rain. En hiver, during the winter time, il y a un vent intense. There is an intense wind. Le village n'attire pas de touristes. The village does not attract any tourists. La plupart des 500 habitants ont moins de 15 ans. Most of the 500 members of the village are less than 15 years old. La langue officielle est le français, mais les Togolais ici parlent uniquement leur dialecte. The official language is French, but most of the Togolese speak only their dialect. Pourtant, le chef parle parfaitement l'anglais. However, the chief speaks a perfect English. Un problème est l'absence d'électricité et d'eau courante. One problem is the one problem is that there's no electricity and clean water. La difficulté majeure, what's the big problem? What's the major problem issue? C'est de développer une éducation de qualité, is to develop a quality education. So it says, choisissez la bonne réponse et écrivez la lettre dans la case. Choose the right answer and write the letter in the box provided. Pendant la saison des pluies, il est difficile d'aller à Kodze. Le vent est fort, il fait froid. So here, la saison des pluies. So let's have a look at the text again. En été, la chaleur est insupportable, sans aucune brise, et les routes sont bloquées à cause des pluies. En hiver, il y a un vent intense. Okay. So there's nothing about froid, so it's not that. Le vent est fort, intense wind is during the winter time. And il est difficile d'aller à causer. Oui, so it's A, because it says les routes sont bloquées à cause des pluies. Ok. À Kodze, il y a beaucoup de touristes, beaucoup d'habitants, beaucoup de jeunes. So as they said here, the village does not attract any tourists, so it's not that. Il y a beaucoup d'habitants, it's only 500 people in the village. Il y a beaucoup de jeunes, oui, si, because it says la plupart des 500 habitants, the majority of 500 people in the village are under 15. So, yeah, il y a beaucoup de jeunes. It's C. Okay, it says here, la plupart des habitants parlent français, la langue locale ou l'anglais. So, as we have read here, the official language is French. La langue officielle est le français. Mais les Togolais parlent uniquement le dialecte. But the Togolese speak their dialect. So, it's basically the local language. And about the English, the chief speaks perfect English. So, it's B. À Kodze, le problème le plus grave est, so à Kodze, the major issue is le manque d'électricité, l'absence d'une bonne école, la qualité d'eau. So here, after they talk about some of the problem, which is the lack of electricity and clean water, here it says what's the major difficulty, what's the major issue, is to develop quality education, right? So that's the major issue, which is l'absence d'une bonne école, the absence of good school. Okay, so let's have a look at the next text, which is Paul and Lily. Lisez cet extrait d'une histoire canadienne. Read this extract from Canadian story. Paul est toujours aussi seul au fond de la classe. Paul is always by himself at the back of the class. Quand Lily lui sourit, when Lily gives him a smile, il détourne la tête. He turns his head away. Il n'a pas d'amis. He has no friends. Les autres garçons se moquent souvent de lui. The other boys makes often fun of him. Lily voudrait lui parler, mais elle est timide. Lily would like to speak to him, but she's quite timid. Un soir, one evening, elle parle à sa sœur Abigail qui lui dit. She talks to her sister Abigail and she tells her. Parle à Paul, speak to Paul. Ce n'est pas drôle d'être tout seul. It's not very fun to be all alone. Lily pense qu'Abigail a raison. Lily thinks that Abigail is right. Elle cherche des biscuits dans la cuisine. She looks for biscuits, cookies in the kitchen. Demain, elle va prendre les cookies. Tomorrow she's going to take the cookies. And à la récré is the break time. And à la récré, at break time, elle va les partager avec Lily pour le rendre heureux. She's going to share them with Paul in order to make him happy. Okay. So let's have a look. Écrivez les lettres des 3 phrases vraies dans la case. Write the 3 letter, like 3 letter that are true in the box provided here. So let's have a look. Paul est dans la même classe que Lily, which is true, yes. Because here at the beginning they tell us that he's at the back of the classroom, and then when Lily gives him a smile, he turns his head. So yeah, so it's A. Les autres garçons s'entendent bien avec lui. The other boys get along well with him. That's not true, because it says les autres garçons se moquent de lui. The other boys make fun of him. Lily n'a pas eu le courage de parler à Paul. Lily wasn't courageous to speak to Paul. Yes, because it says here, Lily voudrait lui parler, mais elle est timide. Lily would like to speak to him, but she was timid. Yes, that's true. So we got 2 out of 3. Abigail pense que Paul n'est pas amusant. Abigail thinks that Paul is not fun. That's not true. It's not mentioned. Lily est d'accord avec Abigail. Yes, it's true, because here when she tells her you should speak to Abigail, here it says Lily pense qu'Abigail a raison. Ouais, elle a raison. She's right. So she agrees. Lily est d'accord avec elle. So we got the 3 statements, but let's have a look at the last one. Lily va manger les biscuits toute seule. Lily's gonna eat the biscuits by herself. That's not true. She said she's gonna share them with Paul pour le rendre heureux, to make him happy. All right, let's go to the next text, and the next text is about les ambitions. By the way, guys, if you sometimes feel tired, and I know it's a long tutorial, I think what I should suggest is maybe go through some of it and pause it and then come back to it and continue. But if you are courageous enough to do it in one go, I salute you. It's a lot to take. And if you find this helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and maybe subscribe if you like it, and hit the notification bell to be notified when I drop a new tutorial. All right, let's go through the next one. Les ambitions, ambitions. Lisez cet article d'un magazine français. Read this article from a French magazine. Voici une initiative intéressante qui existe parce que l'on dit que les élèves n'ont pas d'ambition. So, here's a great and interesting initiative that exists because we say that students have no ambition. Vendredi, les lycéens ont visité la station Rêve. Friday, high school students visited the Dream Station. Là, il y a beaucoup de start-up, des nouvelles compagnies innovantes. There were a lot of startups companies and innovative ones. Doria a trouvé la journée utile car elle veut créer sa propre compagnie. Doria found the day useful because she wants to start her own company. Ashraf a découvert l'usage des nouvelles technologies. Ashraf discovered the usage of new technologies. Il espère participer à d'autres sorties de ce genre. He hopes to take part to the same kind of field trip. Sortie, it means field trip here. D'autres sorties, all other field trip of the same kind. Okay? So let's have a look. Répondez aux questions en français. Pourquoi est-ce qu'on a lancé ces initiatives? Why? So it's in French. So why did we arrange this kind of initiative? On a lancé ces initiatives parce que on dit que les élèves n'ont pas d'ambition. They launched this initiative because they say that students have no ambition. So you have to write it in French. So you have to write parce que on dit que les élèves n'ont pas d'ambition, right? Qu'est-ce que Doria pense de la visite? Let's see what Doria. Doria a trouvé la journée utile car elle veut créer sa propre compagnie. So Doria a trouvé la journée utile. And then they ask us why. You say parce que ou car elle veut créer sa propre compagnie. Because she wants to start her own company, her own business. Qu'est-ce que Ashraf veut faire à l'avenir? Alors, Ashraf a découvert la technologie. So, il espère participer à d'autres sortes de sorties de ce genre. He is hoping to partake in the same kind of field trip of the same kind, basically. So, il espère participer à d'autres sorties de ce genre. So, this exercise was quite easy because you just have to find the information and copy it. So that's quite good. All right, so let's have a look at the next text, which is l'université. So, dans un forum sur l'internet, on parle des avantages d'aller à l'université. In a forum on the internet, We are talking about the advantages at attending or going to university. 6 avantages d'aller à l'université. On y va pour 6 advantages into attending university. So we are going to university to devenir plus discipliné, to get better disciplined, se faire des copains, to make friends, faire certaines professions dentaires médicales, to learn certain professions like dentistry or working in healthcare, medical. Quitter sa mère et son père et avoir plus d'indépendance. Leave mommy and daddy to have more independence. Utiliser un équipement spécialisé. Use specialized equipment. Faire des études dans un autre pays. To study abroad. Like to study in a different country, to study abroad. OK. Choisissez un avantage pour les personnes suivantes. Écrivez la bonne lettre dans la case. Choose an advantage for the following people. Write the right letter in the boxes provided. Je veux me faire de nouveaux amis. So it's B. Je veux vivre sans mes parents. I want to live without my parents. So D. Quitter sa mère et son père. OK. Je veux devenir médecin. I want to become a doctor. So it's C. Je veux étudier à l'étranger en Angleterre, peut-être. I want to study in overseas, maybe in Great Britain. So, faire des études, c'est F, dans un autre pays. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next one. And this one is about translation. And we need to translate this in English. Your brother's Swiss friend has shared the following post on Facebook. Your brother asks you to translate it in English for him, into English for him. Okay, so let's have a look. Mon père aime chanter. My dad likes to sing. Et il apprend à jouer de la guitare. And he's learning how to play the guitar. Il va souvent en ville. He goes often into town pour voir des musiciens célèbres. To see famous musicians. Je fais du travail bénévole. So faire du travail bénévole, bénévole is basically volunteering. So I do volunteer work avec mes cousins, with my cousins. Dimanche dernier, last Sunday, nous avons vendu des vêtements devant l'église. We sold clothes in front of the church. Okay. All right, let's see what more we have. Oh, so that was the end, guys. So thank you for following along today, and I hope this was helpful. And I will see you guys in the next tutorial. I will link the paper in the description box so you can download it to your computer and follow along. Take care, you guys. Salut, and I will see you next time. Ciao, ciao.